Hi everybody, it's Kathy here and it is Friday, so we are getting involved with Mixed Media Mayhem. And this Friday the challenge is to use some texture paste, stencils, some thread or lace, and I'm going with the lace. So I have this paper here called Known for the Holidays from Scrapbook Fantasies that I'm using as my base, and I'm also using a Scrapbook Fantasy stencil, which is a bowl, and I'm just adding in some modelling paste through that stencil, and I'm going to build up a few spots around my layout where I'm going to have that. And as I do work this layout, I do realise I have not actually strategically placed it enough, and so I do go and add more throughout the layout off screen because I want it to show through the papers that I'm going to include. And you can see there that it bled a little bit, but that's okay, I just cleaned it up. That's because I've moved the stencil instead of just keeping it flat and just going through on the one move. Now, I just use an old gift card that's been expired and used as my tool to smooth the paste through. There are probably better ways and other options, but I find that that's very helpful. And I'm not very good at it. I get messy when I'm using it, so you know, that's part of mixed media, I suppose. It does mean getting messy. I like working with it. I still need to learn how to use it the best way. Modelling paste is a lot of fun. It does add dimension to the layout. It does add a point of interest. I do like to do it, and I don't do it enough, I don't think. I know the papers are beautiful, and sometimes I don't think they need any extra addition, and then other times they're a good way to build up your clusters and make it look a little bit better. So I'm putting that to the side to dry. This modelling paste doesn't take very long to dry, which is great. I also have another one here from Scrapbook Fantasies called A Day to Remember, and I'm going to use part of it in that marbled side, and then I'm going to fussy cut the flowers on the outside. I then have this wood grain paper, which is an American Crafts one, and I'm just going to cut a fishtail banner into that. And I do like the wood grain on this and the zigzag pattern, but I just want it to be a little bit more decorative, so I'm going to punch a border on both sides. I don't utilise my border punches enough. I think that's one of my goals this year, is to incorporate them more. It's an easy way to build up decorativeness on your layout. It's an easy way to just add that little extra something to look at. Well, I think so. And I'm not a professional. I just do it from what pleases me. What do you think? Do you like border punches? Don't you like border punches? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to just trim off here 4 inches of this one because I'm going to use that as a panel down the page, and that panel is important because I'm going to also use it to line my lace. Now this is a scrap I have had sitting around on my desk for a while, and the colours just match perfectly, so today I thought I would include it into this layout just as another focal point. And once again, I'm using that border punch to add in that lacy effect. I really like this border punch. It was really good. I think it didn't cost me that very much. I got it, I think, on Temu. I'm pretty sure that's where that one came from. And then I am adding in my tape, getting ready to layer it onto my layout. I am putting 3 points on this because it is going over some mixed media. Now, before I do that, I'm going to build this panel. As I said, this is going to be an extra part of the panel, and you'll see I make a mistake again here. I put it down, and then I realise that when I put my photo down, it's not over far enough, or when I put the lace down, it's not over far enough. So I've got to lift it up a little bit more, and I'm going to move it closer to the edge. I just wanted it to break up that big expanse of colour, even though I do like that mottled marbling piece on that paper. I just wanted to soften it a little bit and add a little bit more point of interest. So I put down 2 rows of tape, and I'm also adding some glue because I want my lace to stay down. And this is a pretty piece of lace. It's got that same florally decorative edge as the punch, so I think it marries nicely. Now I needed to bring some blue in because my photo of myself has blue in it, and so I wanted to bring that in as well. So I'm using some scraps here to lift the blue, and then later on I'm going to use a bit more blue in the embellishments just to tie it off a little bit. Now that my modelling paste is dry, I'm splitting this banner a little bit more. I could have left, when I cut it, I should have just left it the bigger length, but I didn't realise that my photo was going to take up so much, and it was just a tiny bit more that I had to move it across. Then I'm putting in this panel here so that my photo and the panel sit nicely on the layout as points of interest. And then I'm going to put down this photo. Now this photo is of me. I was actually in Parramatta Park that day. I was waiting for my husband, who is seeing his heart specialist. A lot of my life in my earlier married years with my husband spent waiting around for him to see his heart specialist. So I've learned now that when we need to go down to there to see them, that I need to go for a walk, because it's at least an hour, hour and a half, and so I go exploring. And this day I went into Parramatta Park and I went walking through and I found the little stream, so I thought I'd just take it. Now looking at this photo here, I can actually see, you can tell how sick I was at that time. This was just before my diagnosis of whooping cough, and I wasn't sure what was going on. I was looking sick there, but I still went for a walk out in the open. Sunshine's supposed to be good for you. It was in the open air. No one was around me, as you can see. It was quite empty, actually, for a holiday day in the park. But it was a stormy day, so the storms were brewing. So I can imagine that's what kept lots of people away. I'm layering up the fussy cut flowers that I cut from the back of that paper that I told you was the mottled marbled paper. And they're beautiful, fitting in nicely with the colours on this layout. You can see that the green stripes in the background match the green in the photo, and as I said, I've got that brown purpley pinky colour which is also in the photos in the ground there as well. So now I'm building some more blue in by adding the dragonflies, which I have die cut out of that blue denim dot paper which is in the back of the photo. And it's just adding enough little touches of blue to pick up the colours from my shirt and to complement it and make the layout just balanced. So I've put those little dragonflies across. I could have done butterflies, but I thought dragonflies were a nice touch, given that they were zooming in and around the river as I was walking through there. I'm just going to now add a little bit more blue, because that blue on my shirt is very prominent. And I'm just going to use the Salty Ocean Distress Oxide. Now that's a brand new pad. Thank you to my friend Diane. She gave me all of her Distress Oxides. She felt she wasn't going to use them, so they've come to me and they will be well loved and well used. And this one's very, very moist and full of mica and lots of colour, so it's actually a little bit brighter than I anticipated, but that's okay. But it balances out the blue of my shirt, and now you can see that the whole layout just sits more relaxed with that blue outline. I'm just adding in some blue gems now, and as I said, the blue needed to be subtle, but it does need to be on the layout because of my photo. And then by doing that, it's toning down the greens, but it's now making the photo really prominent on the page. So that's how I've learnt over the years to make my photos pop despite what's on the backgrounds. I know that other people think that clusters and embellishing takes away from the photos. I like to think that it adds to the photos, particularly if it marries well with the content of the photos. But it's all I have found down to the colour, and that's what I think. I'm not a professional by any means, but I do believe that the colours work well. And given that when you teach children about colours and complementary colours and supplementary colours and so forth, it obviously has a purpose and it does make a difference. So I've just added in my journaling line saying what I was doing, killing time as usual while my husband was in at the doctor's. You can see the little gemstones, they're subtle there. They've got a little hint of blue. You can see that I've got the modelling paste through the stencil there. I've got the fussy cutting, and over on that panel, that beautiful piece of lace, which just softens the whole layout totally. And it just adds that little bit of extra mixed media that's a little bit different. I love that bow through there. The lace is just pretty, and that allows me to have the stenciling, the paste, and the lace, which were the requirements for this week's Mixed Media. Don't forget to check out the playlist down below, because there'll be lots of people who have interpreted this so very differently, and it's always great to go and see what other people have chosen to do for their layout. I hope that I've done something here to inspire you to get creative today. Happy scrapping, everybody. Leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Here's one for you now.